Welcome and thank you for joining us to celebrate the 15-year anniversary of the Austin E. Knowlton Center for Equine Science. Just a few housekeeping notes. The silent auction will be closing at 9 p.m., so please take a look at all the wonderful items that are over there and make your bids before 9 p.m. I know I particularly have my eye on the Botox, so keep your eyes out for that one. Also, the gifts on the table with Ted's beautiful face on it are for you to take home. Those are made by students here in the maker space that's housed right here at the Point. So for those of you who may not know me, I'm Greg Schmid. I'm a proud 2009 Otterbein alum with a Bachelor of Science in Equine Pre-Veterinary Science. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to my two friends that are out there for starting that. But I'll be serving as the MC for this evening. And it really does feel like a long time since I was a student here at Otterbein. And unfortunately for me, I did graduate before the beautiful Austin E. Knowlton Center was built. But of course, I hung around like a pretty bad smell. And I frequently visited the Otter Barn during my time in vet school. And I was even there on the day that it was finally ready for the horses to move in, which was so awesome to see that big, beautiful, brand new indoor arena finally ready for someone to destroy it. So instead of doing anything helpful like unpacking, I took the opportunity to have a bareback joyride on no other than Ted. And Ted is really amazing. After all of these years, unlike the footing in the arena, he is still doing great. So while I was thinking about this evening, I realized, which I'm sure is true for a lot of you here, especially if you're an alum of the program, that Ted was a really big part of my time here at Otterbein. Not just literally because he's huge, but also from day one, he was everyone's favorite horse. He was in all the lessons, and there was always a long line of students that wanted to take him to all the horse shows. And that, of course, was a really, really long time ago. So for a big guy like that, his longevity speaks volumes about the care and management of the Otterbein's horses. And it's really wonderful that we're all here tonight to support the health and wellness initiatives for all the amazing horses at the barn. So please, let's give ourselves a round of applause for supporting the cause. Now, honestly, no one really asked, but I am going to share a little bit about my Otterbein journey. It's not really a complicated story. After high school, I just really wanted to ride, and my parents really wanted me to be educated, so Otterbein was the perfect match. And Carrie Briggs played a huge role in my decision to come here because Carrie and I go way back. We did Pony Club together when I was 11 years old. And I like to think we did Pony Club together, but really I was doing the Pony Club and Carrie was trying to make a good rider out of me from the middle of the arena. And it took a long time to make a halfway decent rider out of me, but thankfully she was up for the task for over a decade. And of course, when you know someone that long, you do collect some pretty embarrassing stories. One of those stories involves me putting an upside-down hula skirt on my head, tying it into a ponytail, and pretending to be Carrie. So I'm not going to go into too many details, but with such fond memories, it was great to come back to Otterbein and create even more. And Carrie really did give us a lot of opportunities to do so because she was always schlepping us around to all the IDA competitions and many of the Area 8 horse trials. And we did repay her with some really thoughtful birthday gifts. One year, Jocelyn and I went and picked out a nice, big, fresh roll of French bread from Kroger. I'm sure that is still one of her most cherished birthday gifts ever. And I'm also sure that Carrie was very relieved to see Jocelyn here this evening because Jocelyn was really the only reason I showed up to anything on time, including my own show jumping course. Of course, I didn't just come here for the riding. My goal was to become an equine veterinarian, and thankfully, I had some great professors here to make that happen. Back in my day, Dr. Calderon was the chair of the department and taught the equine systems courses, and I still remember her very thorough, thick set of class notes that she expected us to study, and she tested us on them. But she also taught me some very practical tips. In lab one day, she was teaching us how to do intravascular injections, and she'd say, place the needle just take a second, ask the client about the weather or something, and that pause will give you enough time to know if you've accidentally hit the artery. Well, I realized that I used that in practice quite a bit when one day I went to sedate a client's horse for a dental, and they looked at me before I could get the needle in the horse and said, "Are you going to ask me about the weather again?" Of course, there was also Dr. Sherry, who started here when I was a sophomore, and we also knew each other from Pony Club days, and maybe I was a little too familiar in class. I was always passing notes to my friends. But of course she knew back in those days we had to pass notes to each other in class. We didn't have cell phones to text each other, so it's the only way we could communicate. Of course, she eventually learned to love me, and she played a big role in helping me with my distinction project and also getting into vet school. But in all seriousness, my time here at Otterbein was incredibly fun and has benefited me for years, and I'm glad to see that Otterbein remains committed to the future of the equine science program. And as we look towards the future, it's my pleasure to introduce you to one of the university's leaders who spends a lot of time advocating and working for Otterbein and its bright future. So would you please join me in welcoming Otterbein's 21st president, Dr. John Comerford.
That's right, the 21st president, the first one allowed to have a drink legally, which is very convenient. I get credit as the president that brought the beer tent to homecoming, and so if you were back on campus at Towers Hall, you're welcome for that. I will start, however, with a confession. I've been here, this is my 7th year. When I first came to campus to interview for the job, and they showed me campus, it's beautiful and all that, I didn't know anything about horses. I had been on a horse precisely once on a trail ride in Colorado, and I found it a little unnerving that this huge animal was going to listen to me somehow. It didn't make a lot of sense. But I walked into the Equine Center, and it's wow after wow after wow. That facility is amazing, the horses are amazing, the people you meet are amazing, the students' learning is amazing, and so I have become an evangelist for the equine program at Otterbein University. What really, I think, strikes me about our equine program is that it is about connection. Horses have this special power with people, I've noticed. Like, we'll occasionally bring, it's usually Ted, onto campus for some photo shoot. In fact, some of you might have seen, I did a little video right out there a few weeks ago to promote this event. And I had a good time with Ted. And the students are all walking into class in the point, and they're like, oh my God, that's a horse. You see, there's a horse. I mean, the students that don't go to the barn all the time are like, that's a horse. And like, they all want to come say hi, and they're like, yeah, this is an Otterbein horse. You should go to the barn and check it out. It immediately breaks the ice with people. It immediately connects people to have that horse in their presence. That same connection moves on to the students and faculty in the program. All around that barn, you can tell there's a community and there's support. And every time I go, because now I love to show off the building, every time I get to give a tour, by God, I want to take them over to the equine facility and show them around because it always takes their breath away. There's always someone working in the stalls or cleaning the horses or out riding around the arena, and they always stop and tell us what they're doing and tell us about the horse and connect. The horses connect. Part of that connection in our equine program is it is inclusive. It is not just for equine majors. You can take riding lessons if you're any major. And that program, that facility, is open to all sorts of different classes. We're in there with biology and zoo and equine science and all sorts of things happening in that besides the equine science program. It is integral to the whole Otterbein experience. You can see that connection in the care that people have for one another in the program and for the horses we take care of. And that care comes through in our successful programs. You all know we have equine teams that are second to none in the nation, right? Dressage, hunt seat, eventing, and a 3-time national championship team in dressage, right? Give it up. I've got to say, none of this would be possible without the Austin E. Knowlton Equine Center that we're celebrating 15 years of tonight together, and how that really was able to lift up and transform the program. That is a gorgeous facility. Now, I wasn't around for the old barn, but I've heard some stories that it was interesting. I mean, I've heard it was challenging at times. And now we have this world-class facility. The Knowlton Foundation made that facility possible. They understood what a difference and a great environment could make for the horses, for the students, for the faculty and staff, and for the learning that occurs. And they understood that because the Knowlton Foundation was born of a construction company. They understood what a powerful thing buildings can be. That equine center, the Austin E. Knowlton Equine Center, it says quality. It says welcome. It says Otterbein. We stand tall in there. And it all adds up to something for the future of this university that we're only getting started with. Over the decades of this program and 15 years in the Austin E. Knowlton Equine Center, we are just getting warmed up with what is possible here. That place, it's not just about these particular programs and these particular students. It's all the students that get benefit from the existence of that program, including it's the home of our community garden. The fruits grown at the Equine Center are literally feeding students in the Promise House on campus. I am very pleased tonight that we have a representative of the Austin E. Knowlton Foundation with us. John Lindberg and his wife Monica and daughter Maria are with us. And give it up for him. And as we recognize this great milestone for the program and for the facility, we wanted to give him a chance. So John, come on up and please share a few words with us if you don't mind. Thank you.
I've been fortunate enough to be, I'm currently president of the Knowlton Foundation. I've been with Knowlton Foundation for almost 30 years. Mr. Knowlton had lots of passions in life. One of his, he was a builder, he was an architect, he had a construction company, he built 600 major buildings throughout the Ohio area. If you go on any campus in Ohio, there's probably a building that Knowlton Construction built during his lifetime. He also was one of the original investors in the Cincinnati Bengals, and at one point owned a big portion of the Cincinnati Reds. He passed away 21 years ago, and his passion was to support higher education, especially in the Ohio area. And he had other passions in life too, and one of those passions was horses. And he owned and operated Emerald Farms, which was right on 315, which is literally a couple miles to the west from here. And so this project was always, just had a lot of synergy with our foundation. And so I think Mr. Knowlton would be very, very proud that the building has his name on it, and we've been able to support Otterbein. Thank you.
So thank you, President Comerford, for your leadership, and thank you, Mr. Lindberg, for investing in Otterbein's equine programs. I'd like to now invite you to enjoy your dinner and the company at your table. And during dinner, please take a look up at the screen for a presentation put together by some of the Otterbein equine students. These students are very talented and committed, and they share the passion and loyalty that we all feel for this program. So enjoy their work as they share a glimpse into the program's rich history and some fun memories. The Otterbein University Department of Equine Science Industry Leadership Award was created to recognize the outstanding leadership of a member of the equine community, given to an individual or organization achieving regional, national, or international prominence in their chosen career and having made significant contributions to the equine community and profession. It's impossible to think of Otterbein's equine program and not think of this individual. If you learned from her, you grew through her knowledge, her teaching, and her mentoring, and you certainly have a story about how she guided, influenced, or inspired you. Some of the equine faculty of the program describe her as someone they viewed as a hero, having been inspired by her leadership and role as a veterinarian. Others remember the lessons she's imparted that prepared them for their practice and their teaching, saying they can still hear her voice guiding them years later from the things that she taught them. But all of them spoke about how much they knew she cared about the profession, and certainly how much she valued her students and their goals and dreams. Each spoke about how much time she took to invest in her students and talk to them about the curriculum of the program, what it would take to excel in their chosen profession, and how Otterbein would help them be prepared and ready to thrive. And she should know it was a desire to teach that brought her to Otterbein in 1984. She taught every veterinary-related course in the program, and once she was appointed to the directorship of the program in 1985, she introduced the systems courses so students could study each system of the horse. It was her knowledge, her passion, and her commitment that saw the program grow from its original home in the Department of Life Sciences to its very own department, offering equine pre-veterinary medicine and equine business management. She served as the chair of the department until 2006 and retired from teaching in 2015. It was her vision and tireless work that shaped the program to be nationally recognized for its excellence and its success in preparing such grounded equine industry professionals, business leaders, veterinarians, and teachers. There's no other person better qualified to be the inaugural recipient of the award for the reach and impact on our lives, on this department, and on our Otterbein home than our very own Dr. C. Will you please join me in recognizing the 2024 Otterbein Equine Science Industry Leadership Award honoree, Dr. Maria Calderon. She's supposed to be on stage. You are required on stage, Dr. C. Just gonna leave it up.
I'm not a really good public speaker, but I was so lucky to find myself with students who were as passionate about horses as I was. So it was a heck of a lot of fun. In my day, AI did not stand for artificial intelligence. It stood for, of course, artificial insemination. But I was really lucky to really lock into a wonderful job and a wonderful bunch of people. And to have Dr. Birmingham follow in my footsteps when she was a former student, that was just joy itself. So thank you all very much.
Thank you again, Dr. C. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Otterbein University Department of Equine Science Philanthropic Impact Award. This award was created to recognize the remarkable commitment of our equine donors. Recipients are recognized for their philanthropic leadership, service, and commitment to advance the mission of the equine science program at Otterbein University. This family has personal knowledge of Otterbein. They know the rigors of the equine program and its exceptional quality. They have been impressed by its full business curriculum and how relevant, timely, and detailed the coursework was. Not only offering a strong riding program, they valued how all aspects of the equine world were included in the major. They appreciated the power of the equine department's commitment to experiential learning opportunities and witnessed the individualized attention given to students. They saw that by immersing students in their own living laboratory, a passion for horses is able to expand into a competitive career path. They understood how Otterbein Equine students explore the multifaceted $112 billion industry and learn how to take their equine passions beyond the barn. Because of their appreciation for the equine program, this family decided to help create the first endowed fund to support the program and the teams. Their son Mason graduated in 2022 as an equine business management major and valued member of the Austin E. Knowlton Center for Equine Science program and equestrian team. He calls Otterbein the best 4 years of his life, and I can certainly relate. Mason, who competes in the hunter-jumper discipline at the national level, continued his studies in Kentucky at a farrier training program and then returned to Central Ohio to begin his career in the equine industry. In addition to their support of the Otterbein Equine program, this family is very involved in philanthropic activities, serving on foundation and advisory boards for the University of Central Florida, as well as the Mirasol Foundation. For their work, advocacy, and generosity in supporting Otterbein's equine program and team, and in creating the Plowman-Wilson Family Equine Endowment, will you please join me in recognizing the Plowman-Wilson family? Mark, Marilyn, and Mason, please join me on stage as the recipients of the 2024 Otterbein University Department of Equine Science Philanthropic Impact Award.
Come on, Mark, you gotta take a picture. Somebody has to do it. I thought line up here, you're on this side.
Oh, good, they're coming. Yeah, I was gonna say, they all need to come, they all need to come.
Marilyn, you get in the middle, and I'm gonna be handing this thing to you, all right?
All right, thank you.
Yours now.
All right. Well, thank you all. I'm not as tall as you. So, you heard all that intro was pretty much some of what I was going to say, but I do want to comment about the philanthropy, how important it is to us, and I want to impart to you, all of you, that college makes a huge difference. It's one of the most impactful things in anyone's life. And for all of you, you have a relationship with Otterbein, so I believe you should give back. Everyone should give back to things that are impactful and meaningful to them. And I just want to encourage all of you to try to make philanthropy a very important part of your lives, and why not give to Otterbein? Otterbein has made a huge difference in your lives, so why not give back? And even if you can't give a whole lot when you first graduate, just make it a part of your lifestyle to give a little bit, and when you can give more, because it becomes just a part of your lifestyle. And it's very important to give to things, to institutions such as Otterbein that make such a huge impact on people's lives. So, go Cardinals!
Congratulations and thank you again, Plowman-Wilson family. And now I ask you to turn your attention to the video screen behind me to watch a brief video that was created by Square Pegs, a Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance accredited organization highlighting tonight's keynote speaker and Otterbein alumna, Rebecca Knopf, from the class of 2015.
In 2015, we received an emailed resume from a young woman named Becca Knopf. She was finishing college with a degree in equine management. We get a lot of these emails. We asked her to come out for a day of volunteering as her job interview, and honestly, this weeds out about 80% of the resumes we receive. But Becca showed up, eager and full of energy, and within an hour, she was in the arena in a ballet tutu in a sword fight with a bunch of kids with an array of diagnoses. Once the kids left, I put her on an OTTB in training. She admitted she didn't know much about the breed, and I was ready to pull her off the horse if I needed to. Instead of trying to display all of her skills, she listened to our staff and she listened to the horse. She rode quietly, skillfully, and without ego. We had found a treasure. Only one problem remained. The money we had to offer was barely above minimum wage. Becca hesitated, but she agreed as long as we understood that she would also work for a Grand Prix dressage trainer in her hometown 90 minutes north of us. She wanted to sharpen her dressage skills and achieve her showing goals and work under a trainer that she deeply admired. Since then, Becca has been a key player in Square Peg growing into an internationally recognized organization. The horses and the people bloom under her care. Becca is the one we count on to buoy our spirits when things get hard. At the end of 2017, Becca came to us with news. Her trainer, Susan Palmer, was diagnosed with lung cancer. Becca asked for extra time to help Susan with her barn through illness and treatment. And as much as we had come to rely on Becca at Square Peg, we banded together as a team to cover her shifts so she could help Susan. Sadly, Susan Palmer, Becca's mentor, teacher, and friend, passed just 4 months after her diagnosis. Becca was devastated. Susan's widower, Kurt, was even more so. He came to Becca and he asked her to run Susan's barn, to take over the clients and the business. Becca came to us and she asked to leave Square Peg to take on the full-time responsibilities. With love and respect, we sent her on her way. But 2 weeks later, Becca asked me if we could go to dinner. She told me she'd always wanted to be a dressage trainer and that Susan's farm was everything she'd ever dreamed of. But she so desperately missed the kids and the OTTBs that she'd come to adore. So I asked her, what if we build another Square Peg facility at Susan's farm and you can run it? Is that possible? Becca asked me. I had no idea, but let's see. So we asked the waiter for a pen and some scratch paper, and that night, with the blessing of Susan's widower Kurt, Square Peg at Caden's Farm in Sonoma, California was born. We opened the doors in July of 2018, and now the joy of Square Peg reaches families in the beautiful wine country of Sonoma County, California. Becca's laugh, her leadership skills, and her horsemanship honor the memory of her mentor. It also serves as a TAA fully accredited aftercare facility and serves autism families with the same brand of kindness that autism families have come to expect and trust since 2004. Becca then pioneered a relationship with Autistry Studios, a program delivering job training and social skills for young adults with autism. And because of her, 12 young adults with autism look forward to their paid work at the farm, where they're learning carpentry, animal care, horsemanship. The thoroughbred industry, the local community, and everyone, horses and humans, who come in contact with this dynamic young woman are all touched by her skills, her optimism, and her talent.
What an incredible story. Would you please join me in welcoming Rebecca Knopf onto the stage?
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Greg and Otterbine's Equine Science Department for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm so honored to be here at the Point, which is very cool, among such top-notch folks in equestrianism, education, and philanthropy to celebrate 15 years at the Austin E. Knowlton Center for Equine Science. Please raise your hand if you consider yourself a little horse crazy. Excellent. Keep your hand raised if you've ever felt a little bit lonely in that passion. Cool, me too. If you're not horse crazy, you're probably here because you know or you love someone who is. As a bona fide horse girl and a daughter of 2 public health workers, I knew early on that my career choice, and thus my university choice, would need to be a balance between my passion for all things horses and service to others. Next slide. No. There we go. That's me, a little horse crazy. Thank you. In 2011, when I first visited Otterbeins campus as a high schooler, I instantly felt a sense of belonging. Literally, admissions had a sign outside of the office with my name on it, welcoming me to Ohio. After touring the classic brick buildings on campus, I was awed by the beautiful Knowlton Center with its very cool automatic gate and thoughtful facility design. The students preparing for their lessons smiled at me and said hello, rather than disdainfully giving me the up and down like another university program I had visited did. Even better was my overnight with then freshman Lindsay Paulson. Yay, Lindsay. Her passion and enthusiasm for horses, eventing, dressage, and the academic horse-centered classes at Otterbein matched my own excitement, and I felt welcomed and embraced by the student equestrians she introduced me to. I thought to myself, maybe my dream of serving a community through sharing the joy of horses wasn't so far-fetched after all. In writing this speech, I got a real chance to reflect on my time at Otterbein, and it became clear to me that the sense of teamwork and belonging, something that is essential to my work at Square Peg, was so much a part of my experiences here, and it extended beyond just the equine business classes I was taking. It was found in joyfully singing the booty song at 5:30 in the morning before a horse show, with the Hunt Seat team, or walking over to West Camp Press right across the street after rallying and leading the TNC magazine staff to finish a proof before a deadline. It was also found in learning to finally play euchre from other Otterbein students after working all day building a house for a family in West Virginia with the Habitat for Humanity group over spring break. Next slide. Next one. There we go. My time at Otterbein was short in the grand scheme of things. Only 4 years of attending classes, often still my breeches, and yet the things I've learned from the equine program here I use every day in my work at Square Peg. In working with retired racehorses who often have long-term side effects from their career-ending injuries, I'm grateful for the hands-on anatomy and physiology classes and labs with Dr. Birmingham and Dr. C. There we go. Discussions from Professor Bruce Mandeville's class, his equine law, echo in my brain every time a family signs a liability form or an adoption contract is written up. To this day, I thank every horse I ride and laugh off my mistakes in my riding because the caliber and the variety of horses I rode on the teams here show me that every horse has something to teach you. Next slide. This summer, I had a highly anxious teenager come to take lessons and volunteer at Square Peg. For the first half hour of her first visit, I rambled away, introducing our horses and their stories. Every so often, I would pause and ask a question of my new student and her grandma. And with no eye contact and no audible response to my questions, this teen answered through whispering in her grandma's ear, very fearful of engaging with me, a stranger. During some stall cleaning later that day, I learned through many head shakes, silent head shakes, and nods, what her interests were, besides horses, of course, and found that we shared one, fantasy novels. Next slide. I was able to earn her trust through our shared enthusiasm for reading all things magic, adventure, power, and justice. Over the next 6 weeks, I witnessed her have several severe anxiety attacks, but after each one, she came back to the barn asking to ride Dodge because she wanted to go fast, or Mowgli so that she could relax and practice easy canter transitions, or Tado, so she could maybe move past her fear of jumping. After her rides, she was chatty and engaged as any typical 17-year-old should be or would be. By gaining her trust through our shared passions, she felt safe to challenge herself, to learn from our horses and our instruction. By finding a place she belonged in all her passionate quirkiness, she was able to grow into a young person and a horsewoman. You learn who your people are in college through being the most passionate version of yourself, be it horses or fantasy books. The Knowlton Center and the Equine program has built a space of belonging for all of us folks who are incredibly passionate about horses. Something I've learned deeply since working for Square Peg is that the environment is key to learning. A calm, inclusive, inviting environment can prime a brain for learning, especially a neurodivergent brain, which is more prone to anxiety and stress. Next slide. Oh, got it. Okay, never mind. The Knowlton Center helps create that environment every day for their horses and students, teaching us what it is to be an engaged, curious, and humane equestrian. While I may have earned my degree here, it was truly the experiences, friendships, and opportunities I had at Otterbein and the Knowlton Center and across campus that shaped who I am today. This program is preparing the next generation of horsemen and women who will innovate and progress our industry forward. As we celebrate 15 years at the Knowlton Center, I invite you to share in the innovation and success of the students and support this incredible program. Whether you're a student, a parent, or an alumni, or just a fan of horses, let's continue to push for excellence, inclusion, and joy in everything we do. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for the work that you do and the care and commitment that you show for your work every day. You make Otterbein very proud in your professionalism, your leadership, and your service, so thank you so much for making a big difference in the world. I think the audience would agree that you are the perfect inaugural recipient of the last award of the night. The Otterbein University Department of Equine Science Distinguished Alumni Award was created to honor a graduate of the Otterbein Equine Science program who has achieved recognition in their chosen career and has made significant contributions to their profession, community, and the lives of others. The recipients should represent the ideal of a committed, industrious, and caring individual to whom the Otterbein community sees as personifying the department and the university's missions. Will you please join me in recognizing Rebecca Knopf as the 2024 recipient of the Otterbein Equine Science Distinguished Alumni Award. Thank you and congratulations again, Becca. Creating a sense of community is something that Otterbein's Knowlton Center for the Equine Science prides itself on, from the classroom to the riding arena. In that spirit, you should be proud to know that Otterbein's Knowlton Equine Center has a strong and meaningful partnership with the Westerville Special Olympics. Please turn your attention to a brief video highlighting this incredible partnership that started in 2015 and has not stopped making a difference since.
When I have a rough day, I come over here and the horses relax me. It's a de-stressor for me.
I probably just learned how to jump properly and how to make horses like slow down whenever they get like super hyper.
Dr. Stephanie Burke, and I'm a faculty member in the Equine Science Department. So we have two kind of major classes for the minor. One is therapeutic riding, and this class incorporates Westerville Special Olympics riders as part of the class lab. So students will work with the riders during lab, and then they get their Special Olympics coaching certification as part of the class.
I graduated in 2016. I was the first student to graduate with the Equine Assisted Activities and Therapies minor. I started coaching the Westerville Special Olympics equestrian team, and I've been a member of the team ever since.
I'm a senior in the psychology program, and I minor in equine assisted therapies and activities. During the therapeutic riding class in my minor, I was able to get experience working with the Special Olympics team, and from there I wanted to continue working with them. So this summer I reached out to Dr. Burke, and I was able to work with them and practice with them for the whole summer, and then I went to States and helped coach them at States.
I just started this year, within this past calendar year. All the coaches are very nice, and they definitely teach me a lot. My posture wasn't the best in the beginning, and then they kept reminding me to work on my posture and have a straight back. And over time I was able to do it, and for States I did pretty good with that.
As you can see from that video, so many kinds of transformative relationships, bonds, and learning happens at the Knowlton Equine Center. It's not only our students whose lives are being changed here. You saw a glimpse into the relationship these Special Olympic athletes establish with the horses, and this work is creating a lifelong impact. Otterbein is committed to the advancement of equine-assisted therapies and supports this work throughout our academic programming. With additional support, equine-assisted therapies and related opportunities could grow and expand. This is another example of how important the work and reach of the Otterbein Knowlton Equine Center really is. And speaking of champions for Otterbein, it's my pleasure to introduce you to a member of Otterbein's Board of Trustees, an Otterbein alumna, and a true friend and supporter of the Knowlton Equine Center and its program. So please join me in welcoming Karen Yaffe Stump to the stage.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Karen Yaffe Stump. I'm on the Board of Trustees at Otterbein University. I'm a graduate of this fine school and a lifetime equestrian. And there are so many people who have worked tirelessly to make this evening possible. But I want to shout out to Shauna Paddock and Carrie Briggs, the many volunteers, and to all of you who are here tonight. You've donated your time, efforts, money, and valuable resources to make the first gala for the Austin E. Knowlton Equine Center for Science a success. We're grateful and honored for all the ways that you have helped to make tonight possible. Working and living with horses is a special lifestyle, as all of us know who are here. Horses teach discipline, resilience, determination, and grit. These are skills that are essential to successfully navigating our lives. They teach us the values of hard work, compassion, problem solving, and respect for human, animals, and the environment. Working with horses helps us to understand these amazing animals. We learn to ride and care for them. This bonds all generations, from the youngest of children to great-grandparents. How many activities are so inclusive of such a broad age range? Not many. They teach us the importance of appreciating and conserving our environment. This knowledge is increasingly lost among those who have no connection to animals or to the land. Horses are unique. They are capable of transporting people and equipment. They have fearlessly carried soldiers into war. They've been used as therapy animals for special needs individuals. They're working animals used on ranches for herding. And they work as a team with their humans to perform such incredible athletic endeavors as jumping, dressage, fox hunting, polo, and trail riding. These gentle giants establish bonds with their humans that are deep, personal, and enduring. But they are not cheap, and it takes a village. For instance, did you know that a gift of $600 or a monthly gift of $50 can provide preventive veterinary care to include yearly vaccinations? $1,800 a year or $150 a month will cover a school horse's farrier work. That's expensive, as we women know. That's not even as expensive for our shoes, right? $1,200 a year or $100 a month will cover grain costs. $2,400 a year, $200 a month covers hay costs. $180 a year or $15 a month will be enough to purchase stable supplies, including tack, equipment, and everyday needs. We have a goal of $75,000, and we need your help. Any assistance that you can give is greatly appreciated for this wonderful program. Our riders compete all over the country, bringing attention to Otterbein and this esteemed program, and introducing students from throughout the U.S. to our campus. We are fortunate to have a world-class facility like the Knowlton Center for Equine Science spreading this message. After all, young riders are our future for the preservation of these equine fields and the future and care of our environment. Thank you for your support tonight. We hope that you will consider a future gift to the Knowlton Center for Equine Science. And I want to give a plug for a very special event next week. In your goodie bags as you leave, you'll find a program for the North American Junior Field Trials. It's being hosted this year by our very own Rocky Fork Headley Hunt, and will be hosted at the Rocky Fork Country Club here in Gahanna. The flyer will provide a description of the various competitions and events. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see firsthand the special bond between humans and horses. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for reminding us all of the many ways that we can help support this amazing program. It has really been my honor to serve as your host this evening, and I'm grateful for the amazing stories and people that we've celebrated tonight. There's one final voice to hear from. She's been a tireless champion for Otterbein, the equine program for many of us, and the industry. So please join me in welcoming Carrie Briggs to offer some closing thoughts on this very special night.
Hello, everyone. I've had a wonderful evening, and I'm overwhelmed by everyone's support of my crazy little idea I had last spring when I wondered, why don't we celebrate our 15-year anniversary? I knew this milestone would be important to our alumni, our donors, and our wonderful equine community, but tonight has truly exceeded my expectations. I personally want to thank you for all attending this evening, and I'd like to offer special thanks to Greg, President Comerford, Maria, the Plowman Wilson family, Rebecca, Karen, the Knowlton Foundation, and John Lindbergh for making tonight so spectacular. In addition, all of our wonderful and generous sponsors, please accept my heartfelt thanks. We have raised a good amount of money, somewhere towards $50,000 tonight. That exceeds my expectation. As I look out into the audience, I see friends and supporters who each play a part in this incredible story. I'm very proud of our growth and our success over these last 15 years. Most of you are personal friends because of our connection to Otterbein and this beloved equine program. Like many of you, my passion has always been horses. I'm an equestrian at heart, and as a result, I'm more comfortable in the arena than any other place. But I found my home in this quiet little village that now houses one of the most prestigious collegiate equestrian centers in the country. If you know me, you know I'm a competitor. I want to win, and we do win because of the incredible instructors who also share my passion. Lindsay, Jennifer, Jeff, Lauren, Julia, you are the backbone of the equestrian program. We win because we do it together. And again today, they demonstrated that by winning at the Tournament of Champions. Can you imagine what the future could bring? More we could do. Tonight inspires me to dream about what we'll accomplish in the next 15 years. We deeply value our partnership with the Development Office, specifically Shanna Paddock. This night would not be possible without you. Shanna, there you are. She didn't know us horse people were quite this crazy, but she is now have a friend in me. I look forward to strengthening these relationships and building upon the success of this evening. The work that Karen explained comes in all shapes and sizes. We are grateful for your help in making the next 15 years just as successful. Thank you again for a great night, and please enjoy the rest of the evening. The bar will be open till 10:45. Please make sure to get a goodie bag on the way out, and don't forget to take home your personal thank you from Ted himself. Yep, have a great night.